What up, gang of Lane? Carolina Jackpot time coming at you. It's Saturday morning. Hope everybody's doing well today as we head on into another weekend. Looks like it's going to be kind of overcast here in the upstate of South Kakalaki. Happy Mother's Day to the moms out there, the ones who actually watch the channel. We don't have a lot of female viewers, as the analytics tell me, but that's okay. To the few of you that are out there, happy Mother's Day. Make sure you guys go spend some time with your mom tomorrow. Let her know how much you love her and how much she means to you. You should be doing that all the time anyway. It's kind of like Valentine's Day. Now, I'll buy something for the wife. She's like, well, I mean, it's not Valentine's Day. Like, why you can't be my Valentine 365 days a year? Oh, so I think of it like that, but it is a special day, and it kind of creeps up on us, doesn't it? But it is special when it does come. Talking some South Carolina Gamecock stuff real quick. Recruiting is really taking off, especially with the 2026 season. South Carolina, they kind of need to get on the ball a little bit. They've got their irons in the fire on a lot of high-profile blue chippers, but really haven't gotten a lot of commitments as yet. We've got a 4-star edge rusher out of Washington, D.C. area named Carter Meadows, who has whittled his Final Four down to Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, and the Gamecocks. So we're definitely competing with some, we're shitting in high cotton there, I guess you'd say, with those folks. And the NIL money they'll be able to shell out. I think that the emergence of Dylan Stewart, who's also from the D.C. area, probably had a lot to do with getting this kid kind of in the fold and really looking at South Carolina and considering that as an option for him. Elsewise, I mean, he probably wouldn't have even opened the damn text message from Shane Beamer or whoever's trying to recruit him. So he's from Gonzaga College that's a high school though in D.C. What's some of that? These high schools being called college now. It's weird. I don't understand it. I looked at it, had to do a double take. I said, does he play for Mark Few's Bulldogs? No, it doesn't. It's called Gonzaga College Prep School. Yeah, so that's interesting. We'll see how that develops. His first official visit out of the 4 is to South Carolina here in late May. I think it's right before Memorial Day. So fingers crossed on that one. Shane Beamer the other day comes out also talking about Rasul Faison, the running back, who we still haven't heard anything back on his NCAA eligibility. Of course, he famously Wednesday he lawyered up, went and retained the services of the attorney out of Florida, who was able to get Miles Studi, the basketball player who transferred in from Vanderbilt, clearance on another year of eligibility there. I'm just looking here at what Rasul has done. Just from me, the outside looking in at what he does, I think it should be a no-brainer this guy should be able to play. Hasn't played that much football. He was in college for 2 or 3 years and didn't even play. So the numbers that he put up last year and the year before, it makes it even more impressive. But man, it's also, God, I don't know. It just kind of worries me that this guy might not be ready, might not be, what we think he's cracked up to be. Maybe he got all those yards against taffy-ass, piss-poor. I'm not going to say taffy-ass, piss-poor. I'm not going to say there's anybody in the Mountain West who doesn't play a little bit of defense, but it's nothing like the Southeastern Conference. He was rated the number 2 running back in the portal for a reason, though. I don't rate those guys for a living. There are people that do, and I know they make mistakes, but more often than not, they're right, or they're at least somewhat right on these people. So, fingers crossed. They asked Beamer about it. He said he had no idea. He didn't know anything about him lawyering up. Yeah, right, Shane. Shane's a deceptive bullshitter, I think, sometimes on those type of things, which is totally fine with me. I wouldn't have told anybody that I knew that he lawyered up or that we were going to fund it or that we suggested that he do it either. Because that makes you look bad in the eyes of the NCAA. You know, he's already got a black mark on him from the NCAA from some shit that happened years ago. I mean, just because it happened years ago doesn't mean it didn't happen. So we're familiar with that. We're all aware of that. You know, the Tennessee people also blame him for their downfall in 2022. I was watching a Sports Talk J video. I think it was Wednesday. And I always make sure I watch the videos that Jay puts out with Michigan coach Sharon Moore in the thumbnail, or Jim Harbaugh, Connor Stallions. He's got that one thumbnail that's got all the three of them in there. He's reused it over and over. I always watch those because I know he's going to talk South Carolina. And he did not disappoint in that video. He went in all in on us, showed his little list of circumstantial evidence that he's got against the Gamecocks. I mean, some people just won't give things a rest. Some people won't give things a rest and won't just realize that this is a cold case that has some circumstantial evidence, but it doesn't have any cold, hard facts. You're probably never going to get any cold, hard facts because I don't think, quite frankly, that they're investigating South Carolina in terms of getting any cold, hard facts out. They're just not. They're all over Michigan, though. They're all over them. Coach getting suspended for 3 games again for deleting text messages. It's their mess. Michigan messed up so bad that they pretty much absolved anybody else of any wrongdoing. This is not going to be investigated. It's just not. I would be willing to put my next paycheck on it that we never hear anything about that in terms of South Carolina. The whole thing with Tennessee and the sign stealing, it came out. It was 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, because I was in Daytona Beach for the week, and yeah, I know the redneck. It's a redneck Riviera, I guess. But anyway. And went and got new cell phones. We went and got new cell phones from the Verizon place down in Orange Park. And the wife was getting her cell phone fixed up. And I had already gotten mine fixed up. You know, they got to transfer all your shit over and do all this and that. And they had to do our devices separately. And, of course, hers going to take longer because women are more difficult. I'm just kidding. Love you. So I was outside and I rode around. I was fucking around. I was reading all this stuff. It had just come out about that time that, South Carolina might be involved in this. And I'm like, okay, that was 2 years ago, guys. 2 years. We're still beating that fucking drum. Still beating it to death. And we're still beating the Clemson drum to death. They may have also cheated against Clemson to keep them out of the playoffs so that Michigan would have an easier path. Guys, I don't know how many times I have to say it. Connor Stallions didn't have anything to do with Dabo Swinney abandoning the run game with Will Shipley in the second half of the South Carolina game. He didn't have anything to do with Dabo Swinney's decision to use ukulele in a more prominent role, trying to pass the ball down the field, get cute with it, and abandon his game plan that was working. Connor Stallions didn't have anything to do with Clemson fumbling on special teams twice. Didn't have anything to do with Clemson's poor decision to put a freshman punt returner back there to field a punt at the most crucial time of the game when they could have been set up for a game-winning field goal. None of that. And I'm not sitting here telling you that you're not right to think that maybe there's some circumstantial things there with the Tennessee game. I personally don't believe it. I think that Tennessee's defense was just shit, and South Carolina studied it. They came up with a damn good game plan. I feel like Shane Beamer knew that his ass was fixing to get tacked up against a wall after the terrible performance that they had the week before against Florida. I think he took the play calling duties away from Marcus Satterfield for that game, and I think they hit Tennessee with some shit they weren't ready for. That's personally what I think. And I think Spencer Rattler balled out that game. So, just putting that one to bed there. You can think what you want to, though. I'm not going to argue it anymore. Some things just get tired and tiresome. But one more thing I wanted to touch on, this baseball situation. I know. I've told you guys a bunch of times that I'm going to stop talking baseball on this channel because, quite frankly, I'm sick and tired of it. But as you know, sometimes I can't hold my promises well, especially when they just push me over the edge. They lose the weekend series to Auburn. They get swept in it. Swept already? Carolina jackpot it Saturday morning. Yep, they did. They played a Thursday night game in this series. This was a game or series played on the road at Auburn. Lost on Thursday night. Then yesterday they doubled up because they're supposed to have some bad weather in Alabama, I guess, today. So they went on ahead and played 2 yesterday. The game that started at 2. South Carolina actually lost 11-10 in the bottom of the ninth. Yesterday's nightcap, I think they lost 11-3, which is terrible. Thursday is the one that was the kicker. 24-2. They lost to Auburn. 24-2. Auburn's a good team. I get it. I know. I think. Did they win their series against Tennessee the week before? They may have. They're a good team. They're getting hot at the right time. But 24 runs, and you got run ruled again. How many times has this team got this? They've gotten run ruled more times this year than they probably have in their history. I mean, run ruled hadn't been a thing for long. It maybe been around for 5 years. Well, they've gotten run ruled more than 5 times. I know. They've gotten swept in multiple SEC series. Only won one SEC series, and that was against Ole Miss, and they're actually pretty good. I mean, they couldn't win the series against Kentucky or Florida, teams that aren't any good, but they could win one against Ole Miss. I think legitimately what needs to happen at the end of this season, which is going to be very soon, thank God, they have one more SEC series coming up this next weekend at home against LSU, ironically, where Paul Mainieri came from before he was at South Carolina. Well, he actually came from the house to South Carolina because he'd been retired for 3 seasons. But he was coach at LSU for a number of years. He won a natty down there. We all know about it. Did a really good job for a long time when he was in his prime. When he was in his element. This man, at the end of the season, needs to do the right thing for our fan base. He needs to do the right thing for the University of South Carolina. He needs to go on ahead and retire. He needs to take the podium, tell everybody that I apologize. He doesn't even have to apologize. That I thought I could do this. I thought I could get this program back to the level that it once was. I realized that I was wrong. I underestimated the strength of the team. He's already said this. He's underestimated the SEC and how big and strong the guys are now and yada, yada, yada. And he's kind of used that as an excuse, and people have kind of got sick and tired of hearing it. But he could say that in his farewell speech, that I underestimated that. I didn't realize that this would be the undertaking that it was. And quite frankly, right now, I'm just not in a place where I feel like I'm able to make the difference that I thought I would be able to make. And for the sake of these young men and the fan base, I'm going to go on ahead and announce my retirement. I will go to the house. You don't have to pay me another dime. Because he doesn't need any more money, by the way. And if they fire the guy, they're going to owe him a buyout, which it's a baseball coach. He's signed through 2029. I think he makes like $1.3 million a year. He actually makes more than the Clemson coach makes. The Clemson coach is like a year or 2 younger than me, this Eric Batbitch guy. But Mainieri makes more money than he does, which is criminal. And I'm not giving any credit to the Taters and their AD, Graham Cracker Neff, here. But y'all need to give that guy a raise. If Mainieri's making this much money, and maybe that's high end for a baseball coach, and he may just be getting that high rate because of his longevity in the game. I don't know, but somebody needs to reevaluate that. That's the only one I looked at that I compared it to. You could pull that up and compare it to other SEC coaches and see, but he's probably getting paid pretty well comparatively. So a buyout it'd be expensive, but it's nothing like firing a football coach, which is going to become, I think, less and less commonplace in the coming years, because you're going to have to come up with like $20 million a year to pay all these athletes. And I just don't see that. There's not unlimited funds out there. There really are not. There are not unlimited funds. South Carolina's baseball roster has taken a tremendous hit the past few years. They haven't been able to bring the dudes in. Their basketball team hasn't been able to bring the dudes in to compete at that high level. And just looking at how much some of their football players are making right now, Lenore Seller's making a ton of money. Dylan Stewart's making a ton of money. You got some other guys on that squad who are making pretty good money as well. And I'm not saying they don't deserve it, but I'm also saying that I think that the NIL money there, I think it may be running thin. Just from the outside looking in, it looks to me like that NIL money might be running thin, because they had a lot of misses in the basketball transfer portal. A lot of guys that they wanted. What's the deal with that Egglestaff guy? He just decided, I'm just going to go to West Virginia. West Virginia's able to pay more than we are? Probably so, because they don't shell out the money in football that South Carolina's been shelling out. They lost their star running back, C.J. Donaldson. He went to Ohio State. NIL. Because they weren't going to pay it out. So I think those programs may suffer from football success, which, don't get me wrong, I would take making the playoffs in football every year and having a basketball team that's perpetually going to have a losing record 7 days a week, twice on Sunday, if that's what it took. But this man does need to retire. His staff needs to be gone. Amani Lee from Clemson, who was like, Paul Maneri is here to groom him into a better head coach, and then he'll end up taking over the head coaching spot when he retires. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that ship sailed. I don't think anybody's dumb enough to make that move. I know it would have been cool to take a guy who has been a coach at South Carolina, who tried to be the coach at Clemson, kind of failed, to come to South Carolina and take us to the College World Series and kind of give Clemson one of these, because there are not enough of these to go around for the Taters in the upstate. But that's just not going to happen. The fact of the matter is, I just don't think he's that good. Don't think any of them are that good. Yeah. And nobody wants to really hear a lot of baseball talk from Carolina Jackpot. I understand that. But I want all those sports to do well. And when they're not, it kind of sticks in my craw just a little bit. But we'll see. I stand firm in that I think he needs to go. He's 26-26 right now on the season. 5-22 in the SEC, with the majority of the 22 being at least 5-run or more losses. And several of them losses where the other team scored over 20 runs in a game. And South Carolina scored in single digits in terms of the runs. A lot of, as I said, shortened games, run rule games. That's just the absolute bottom of the barrel. So, anyway, I will see you guys later on. I've got to get in here and get this store ordered and take some chips into it. I'll see y'all later. Appreciate you. Peace. I'm out of here. And go Gamecocks. Woo!